Hello, this is Dixie Cravens here to show you my experiment in embossing with distress paint, and I think it turned out pretty good. Here's an example of the finished product. And I started out with two colors of paint, a tag which I already dry embossed with a Cuttlebug and a Griffin folder, and then I'm going to use some clear embossing powder and a brayer. So let me get started with my first paint. This is the Tarnished brass. You always need to shake these up really well. So I'm going to shake it up good, and I'm just going to apply it to my craft mat so that I can then get it on my brayer. If you were to try to put this gently on your dry embossed tag, it tends to seep into the image anyways. There you have the pop, the magic, and the pattern shows up. And I am not pressing very hard so that I don't get a lot of paint into the crevices there. And here's the clear embossing powder. I am working quickly because this paint does dry pretty fast. And it did stick very well. I was pleased with that. And now that the embossing powder is stuck to the paint, I'm going to go heat emboss it quickly. And there you can see as it shines back at you, the clear embossing powder on top of the tarnished brass paint. And here is the chipped sapphire paint, and I am adding this directly to the tag. I am adding it, I want good coverage, but I don't want it to be pooling down on the tag. And my thinking was that I could fill in some of those white spots with a damp paper towel, just kind of rub it off of the embossing and into those crevices, and you see that it didn't really work. And I probably could have just sprayed the tag and the paint would have moved around some. It is water reactive like all the other distress products. But I decided to not take the chance of an unexpected result and just add more paint. So I just added it to those little spots that were still showing up white. And then I'll just buff it in, make sure I've got good coverage. And then I am going to give that paper towel a little wetter, and you will see the magic happen as the embossing comes back up to the surface. This is the reason why we emboss, so that the paint would resist and come off of that tarnished brass. Here's a close-up so you can see what it looks like. And that is the end of the technique. I am just going to add a little bit of tarnished brass around the edges to finish it off, and to give it a little bit of an aged look. And then we will be ready to add to it and finish it up. So here I have some Prima flowers. The white flowers are Prima, and the green leaves are actually a larger Prima flower that has been sprayed with glimmer mist, and I had that just left over from another project. And then some wood Veneer words by Studio Calico. It was in a packet with a bunch of typewriters, if that helps you find it. And then this cool ribbon pack from Michaels. I like this little fringe here. Thought it would be cool on the bottom. So I'm ready to start sticking it all down now. I'm using glossy accents. I love to use glossy accents, especially on projects that had a lot of texture, because the glossy accents kind of seeps down into the texture and holds everything in place. So I'm just adding it generously to that flower and helping that flower open up a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut the fringe for the bottom and glue it on also with the glossy accents. It's perfect for fabric applications. And just trim off the extra, and it's starting to look like a cool tag. And those words need some paint, and all of the distress products color wood veneers perfectly. It's just amazing to watch the wood take any of the distress products. I'm going to apply paint. I'm just kind of dabbing it on, and then I thought I would go ahead and put my ribbon on top and let those words dry. And this is a 1/2 inch silk ribbon from May Arts. And I just keep getting that tag into that wet paint, so I'm going to move them out of the way. Just twisting it so it will fit through the hole there. I'm going to make a loop and then pull the tails through. And I got those tails through and thought, boy, this really needs a bow. And so I'm just going to add a bow quickly here to the top. Nothing fancy. And then I will go back and cut off the excess tail and the parts where it got into the paint. All right, now we're ready for words. And I did end up having to just run them under the heat gun to finish drying, but they dried pretty quick. And so I'm just playing around, making sure I know exactly where I'm going to glue them down, because looking for a spot to glue it down when it has glue on the back is a really bad idea. Made that mistake so many times. Again, the Glossy Accents is my glue of choice. It's thick, it gets into all those crevices, and it sticks really well. And there you have it. It's all put together and ready to be gifted. Here's a close-up and then some still shots of the finished product. Here on the next one you can kind of see the shine from the metallic paint. Well, thanks for watching. This is Dixie with DC Papercraft. I am on Facebook and Google+, and my blog where you can leave